Instagram family, how are you doing? How many of you? It's weird to not know. Maybe I will just go on 2 hours.
No, as in
No, I
showing.
can't.
Did you know?
That's what we can do, really.
I'm still
We are
uploading.
live on yes,
It
we're
would be
live.
nice if it wasn't showing.
There we are.
Whose phone is that?
No, it's just telling me that we're live on.
Okay.
But that phone needs to go on silent.
All right.
Whose phone's this? It's your
Oh,
work
that's my
phone.
other phone.
Dwayne has
Is this
four
not your
phones.
drink as well,
That's
Dwayne?
my juice. Last minute runabouts. Hold on, one sec. That phone's already on.
Are we live on YouTube?
We're live on YouTube.
We are
yeah.
live on YouTube.
We are.
We're live on Insta.
We're live. We're live.
How is everybody doing?
How?
Everybody had a good week?
Yeah, full go again.
Yeah?
Yep.
Teddy, are you doing this or what?
Yeah, but I mean, you took the question out of.
Oh, I took a question out of your mouth.
Started,
I was saying hello to my friends. Sorry. I was,
This guy.
What's loud? I hear something.
Oh, it's gone. All right. Apologies, guys. It's been a couple minutes. So is it should you turn the other cheek so I can pin it?
yeah, go on.
It's fine. Of course, you can ask the question how everyone is doing.
I mean, no one's answering. We are live and no one's saying anything. So,
Nobody did answer.
yeah.
Dwayne, how are you?
I'm beautiful.
Whoa.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. I'm beautiful.
Whoa, whoa,
I'm beautiful.
You think?
Wow.
Whoa,
All right.
whoa.
I mean,
It's
you
not that I
can't.
think, I
Beauty
know.
is in the eye of the beholder. You can't. I'll let
What,
you. I'll
am I
let
not
you
the
know
beholder?
if you're beautiful or not.
Am I not the
Wow.
beholder?
I like that.
So I said, am I not the beholder?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what
You
beholder
are.
is.
It's the person who is beholding the beauty, the person looking.
Wait, this
So when
tablet
you
you
are
gave me
looking in the
doesn't
mirror,
work.
you are
It's
the
not even on.
beholder. Right?
Yeah.
It's fine.
When
It's
you're
fine. I'll
looking
use my
at
phone.
yeah.
It's cool. I'll use my phone.
Yeah.
You sure?
So we know Dwayne's beautiful. Tolly, how are you?
You don't think I'm
Butters.
beautiful?
No, but
I mean-
Dwayne answered. So
That's
how
right.
are you?
Oh,
You can say you're beautiful too.
I'm beautiful too.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All
No, I'm
right.
really good. It's been a decent week. It's been a really good week, actually.
It has.
Oh, sorry.
We're live, so
Whoa,
say
air.
say what you're
Dead
saying.
air.
Like everyone can
You-
see me. Like
You've
just
committed
say it
now.
out loud.
You've
Like
fully
there's no,
committed.
this isn't backs. We're not in.
How do I pin the comment? I can't. Can
Oh,
I?
you can't. Dwayne has
No.
to do. Oh,
Oh,
someone-
it's
Oh,
too late.
no, it's too late.
We're not
It's too
pinning
late.
it. We're not
Yeah.
pinning it. We're not pinning it. We
So
can't
you
get
might
back
just
there.
have to write it so that maybe when people come in, they just
They know.
see it. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't pin it, so we're gonna have to just be telling people as they are.
I could put it on YouTube. Go over to YouTube. I could put it on the screen there.
Bim, how are you?
Bim, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good that I didn't have to drive today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we took a road trip, guys.
God
Different
is good.
locations.
Secret
Secret location.
location.
Secret, top secret.
God is good. And do you know what? It happens to be the day that I have a flat tire. So
Oh,
God is
yeah.
Yeah. Real talks. Real
Yeah.
talks.
That's
Real
actually
talks.
so true. Oh
Real
my gosh.
talk.
Hand out.
Yeah. And we had a big conversation about that
We
tire as
did.
well.
We should do some BTS, like just post
Some people
it.
don't know
like,
the difference
We've
between
got an 8-minute video just for that.
a tire.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, there's something today as well. I learned today what a wheel is, what a tire is.
I
knew what a rim was.
I don't know if Tanya has learned it yet. If I'm being honest, I don't
did
know if
learn
Tanya has
it.
learned it yet.
I did learn it.
They shouted at me like I was wrong.
that Tado at one point, like she had me. I thought she knew what she was talking about.
She almost got me as well.
So wait, hold on.
She almost got
For
me. I was
those of
like,
you
wait,
who
hold
don't
on.
know what we're talking
You knew what
about,
the tire was.
Tads,
Of course, they're different
The
things.
difference between the tire
Tads, do you
and
want
the
to
wheel?
give like a
My bad.
rundown of
I
the
think it's
conversation
because
we had?
I feel like it's, my Nigerianness of understanding things sometimes of the words that we use. So obviously, I mean, I'm just going to be very honest here. I'm being very honest and open. I thought that the tire, when I was calling the tire, I was referring to the wheel, right? But yeah, so these guys were like, no, it's not the tire. The tire is the rubber. It's the rubber. It's not the
It's not just you.
the thing. Da, 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 da. And I was like, I know how to change a tire. And then Tolly was like, you don't know how to change a tire.
No. You're changing this whole story.
No, I didn't.
You're changing this whole story.
I didn't.
Bim had a flat tire, and we were talking about how she can fix her tire. We were all saying, yo, you might need to go to a garage. Oh, how can you get it towed? Maybe call AA. Taddy was like, why don't we just go and get a tire? You could do it at your front door. And that was the discussion.
Yeah, because
Can
by
you-
tire,
what
I
do
was
you
referring
actually
to
mean?
wheel.
Anyways, we're
I
not going to do
guess.
this again.
No, we're not
No,
going
we're
to
not.
do
We're
it
not.
again.
We haven't got time
we've
for
We
learned
should get
about
like Patreon or something.
conversation
right?
is-
Together behind like
behind the scenes.
conflict resolution. We've resolved that conflict.
We
Tadeo
did, and I did learn something.
Yes,
'Cause I didn't
yes.
know that
Good.
it was. I just thought that people sometimes. Maybe I shouldn't be
Let's
telling
just leave
people.
it.
Yeah,
let's
let's
just leave
leave it
it.
at that.
Let's just leave it. Bim, the time on your oven is mad wrong.
I know,
won't
I'm
lie
looking
to
at
you.
this earlier.
It's
Not the right
throwing
time.
me off. It's throwing me off.
Wait, hold on a second. Whose time on ovens is even
right.
correct?
The time on my oven is correct, and the time on my microwave.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of effort,
See,
man.
but microwave time is never right because I turn it off.
Save that energy in it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Them energy prices. That's another conflict that
Stress.
is
Right there.
brewing.
Stress. If you
For
see
real.
me in my house, just switching off lights.
Listen.
I
Switching
changed
off
all
the
my
lights.
lights to
Birthday, the
LEDs.
heating's
Oh
gone
my
on
gosh.
next week.
Oh my
you guys.
days. It's actually crazy. Rachel, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good.
I
good,
recovered
good,
from
good,
yesterday.
Good.
Good stuff.
Oh, guys,
Oh,
yes. How did we all forget to say that?
Well, they weren't
We
invited.
literally went out yesterday. We had a family outing. What did Tony say?
They weren't invited.
I thought it was a team thing. So why are we telling everyone else?
Because we smashed
Wow.
the escape room.
Oh,
we
okay,
smashed
okay.
it.
Oh, yeah.
We escaped.
yeah.
We
No,
escaped.
but we
We did.
escaped in like with
48
no help.
minutes.
And the people were like amazed, like you guys are the best that we've ever seen do this room. Like for real.
Say that?
Exaggerations.
They kind
no.
of said it. It's kind of.
They were like, no, we didn't have to help you. Like, impressive. And like, special shout out to Dwayne
What
for
did I
finding
do?
that piece at the back of the door.
Oh,
Yes.
that
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
As
yeah.
I said, that's at my son's height. Like,
I thought it was a good team effort.
It was.
It was,
From
it
everyone.
was
It was.
wonderful. I
It
think
was
that
nice.
everybody literally, everyone had a hand in us getting out.
IG video has ended.
why has it ended? Why would you do that, IG?
Apparently, I don't know. That's what it said last time too. And remember, you checked it and you were like, no, it didn't.
Well, check it out. Check
Maybe,
it out.
I
Check
don't
it
know. It
out.
might
Check
have,
it
it
out.
might-
Live
have-
now.
Yeah.
How
I
are
don't
you,
know,
Tad?
but yeah. Oh, I am okay. I'm
Okay.
all right. Yes. Yesterday was really fun. Being in that escape room. I actually messaged my cousin and was like, we finished the escape room with like 12 minutes to spare. And then
go
he's
away.
just so cheeky. He was like, yeah, with none of your help. And I was like,
Oh, I
excuse
think
you.
you were actually
Rude.
pretty good. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Told him that every single person on the team
Yeah.
like literally contributed.
Literally.
Like everybody
Yeah,
contributed.
yeah.
And it was a proper team
It was
effort.
a lot of fun, though. I
It
think
was
a
so
lot of
fun.
It was fun.
And then
Each
we
was
went and
different.
ate. It was
Shout
just
out to
really
Hannah
nice.
as well, who was
Yeah.
there.
Yes,
You know,
Hannah.
got it going. Shout out to Steph, who had to sit outside with
That-
the kids.
Yes.
God bless you.
yes,
God bless you for
yes,
your
yes.
sacrifice.
Yes.
Next
yes,
time we'll
yes.
have you on.
We shall. We will. We will. Yes. So, well, I'm thinking if we should wait for Dwayne.
Yeah. We probably should.
Dwayne's just sending some stuff.
I mean, we can get into like.
We can actually just get
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah,
Actually,
let's
when he
get
gets
into
back,
it.
he gets back.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So today, if you have been seeing the promo, we will be talking about conflict and beef. Beef. What's beef? Sorry, no. But yeah, we're going to be talking about conflict. And as I said, if you have been around this week and you have not been under a rock, the topic is very, very fitting to what's been happening. Even for people who have watched Top Boy, there's a lot of things that have been happening with conflicts this week. So,
Was
The
it
main
this?
one-
Was it this week?
Yeah,
The-
Sunday night or Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's actually
It
been
feels
a
like
week.
It's been ages
Yeah,
since
I
that
know.
happened. Like, there's been so much content.
I'm
on
tired of
that
it. I'm not
slap.
gonna lie.
Yep.
I'm
Real
tired of
talk.
it.
Real
So
talk.
people
Yeah.
don't know
People
what
are
it
tired.
is, right? So today we're talking about conflict, and we're going to be going into, how does God want us to react in certain situations? What does God think about conflict? How do we react in situations. So yeah, we're just gonna go through all of that. But first of all, we need to just, news of the week. It has been news of the week. Oscars.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dwayne. That was pretty awesome, actually. I like
Is that the Oscars jingle?
No, but
No.
it's ours.
Okay.
It's ours for the news of the week.
All right. All right. All right.
ours.
Cool.
I'll
Cool.
put a
That was
little
ours.
C underneath that sound.
So obviously the Oscars.
The Oscars.
It feels like we have literally been talking about this the entire week. I hoped that we would start speaking about the fact that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
He
Thought
did
we- I
what?
thought- he did what? I thought that this conversation would be over by like Tuesday. But no,
No, it keeps going.
literally the news have continued to talk about it every single day. It has, like, literally there's been another thing happening.
Yeah.
So, oh gosh.
And what is ironic is there is like a full-blown war in the Ukraine still.
I know.
Still raging.
Like literally.
Yeah.
And this has been like they literally had did you that day there was a day when Chris Rock, they said the news was Chris Rock breaks his silence. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did he say? He literally said that he's still processing and he will I was like, this is what was news. The
Yeah.
fact that he
Who
said he's
cares?
still processing.
Yeah.
Wow. They really, really have gone in on this thing. So yeah, you're right. There's really still a war happening. Like,
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys though? Just the one thing that I think everybody thinks the slap was wrong. I think we've had that discussion. Everybody's had that discussion already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you guys actually think? Did you guys feel any of like, oh yeah, he was defending a woman? That's great to see a man defending his wife.
Not
What
that it's great. I think that was his reasoning that he wanted to defend his wife, even though
No.
initially he was
But
laughing.
hold on.
But
There was a behind the
It wasn't
scenes.
that he was
Now, let me
defending his
land.
wife. No,
Let me
he
land.
felt bad
Alright.
for his stupidity that he was laughing in the first place. Sorry.
No,
But she was laughing as
I
well.
think
Sorry,
she
go on.
didn't
trying
laugh.
to
She
defend-
didn't laugh.
laugh.
She didn't
She
laugh.
did you
His
not see the
wife's
video
honor.
behind? When he said it, she laughed.
I
And
think she
then
was
he,
still laughing.
as
No,
he
I think
was,
it was a
I think
nervous
she was-
laugh.
no,
Or,
as
No,
she
I think
walked-
she was
as he
laughing
walked up
from-
there, he was laughing. She was laughing as well when he was walking up there as well
to slap him.
to slap him. And then when she
Really?
slapped,
She probably didn't
she
know he was
laughed
gonna
and carried on.
Oh.
100%. Have you not
That's
seen
what
the
I'm
second
saying.
video?
Maybe,
No, I've
maybe.
not seen that.
Oh,
Well,
go
did he
check the
tell her
second video.
I'm about to go slap this guy?
No,
She was
she
like,
probably didn't.
He didn't say that if he said what he said.
No, because I saw that they were laughing as the joke was told. So I thought that they had just been laughing about something else that he said, and then he said it, and then
No,
her
Will
smile
was
just
laughing.
went
He
away.
was laughing
Will
He
was
was
full
laughing
out,
at the joke.
full blown
He was
laughing.
laughing
He
at the
was
joke.
laughing at the joke, but Jada was laughing and then stopped laughing when the joke was told. But,
But
yeah,
Will carried on laughing.
he did.
He thought it was
laughing.
funny.
It was funny.
but
I mean,
Yes, obviously it was funny. The thing is, I said that if not for the fact that she has alopecia, everybody would have laughed and we would have moved on.
No, but hold on a second. There was another
Literally.
video. The reason why she cut off her hair was because of her daughter.
That's the thing. I don't
She
really
put a
understand
post on like 6 months
everything.
ago saying that as well.
guys, let's
But
move
yeah,
on from like the details of
it annoys me
Like,
because there's too many conflicting bits of it. So it makes no sense.
But what would you guys have done?
It's just black. I don't know.
IG's playing
Just
about.
gonna have to ignore it.
use his speech time to have
Yeah.
a comeback. Don't slap a guy on live TV. Like, you shouldn't resort to violence in any case. Like, whether it was the live Oscars or not, I don't think anyone should be responding in that manner. But Will Smith could have handled it in a much more respectful and diplomatic way. I don't think he should have slapped him. And I think also, like, the fact that he was still allowed to sit and enjoy the party and like
Legit.
not leave
Well,
the event, like it just
Apparently,
sends
they
a
told
really
him
bad
to
message.
leave. and
No,
he
they
said
didn't
no.
tell him to leave.
They asked
I
him
saw
to
that
leave.
They
and
gave
he
him
said
an
no.
option. They didn't make him leave. They
No, they
gave him
didn't
an
make
option.
him. Obviously, he was still there.
he's always got the option to leave or to stay. Like
Yeah.
them giving him
They
the
did
option.
They
nothing.
asked him to leave. They asked
So
him to leave.
what
but they
I
did
want
not
to
force
ask
him
you,
And then he stayed.
so just like in general, the principle of conflict.
Yeah.
So someone antagonized him and his wife. What is the way?
Well, his wife, not him, but yeah.
Yeah, or his wife. Or I think if they're antagonizing his wife, they're antagonizing him.
I mean, I guess
Yeah,
so.
you are one.
What
Right,
is
you're
the
one.
way to deal with that? Like, we've put on the question: do you turn the other
Turn
cheek,
the other cheek.
or should you do something? Even if you don't slap the guy, even if you don't go up and slap him, but you do, like, some people say he should have clapped back with his own joke. Everyone thought that's what he was going. Chris Rock thought that's what he was coming up to do.
Yeah.
So what is the actual
poor
appropriate
Chris.
response? If we think Will did it wrong, what's the right response?
If he wanted to address the fact that that joke was inappropriate to his wife, especially that she's battling with a disease, if he wanted to do it in a public manner the same way that Chris Rock did it, he could have used his speech time. Okay, fair enough. He didn't know if he was going to win a speech, but he could have taken Chris aside and mentioned that to him. He didn't need to resort to violence. Like, he could have
Or
gone
you could
to
have just
him
gone and
man
taken
to
the
man.
mic on stage. If you're gonna go on stage anyway, take the mic. Don't like slap a person.
Yeah, don't-
You know what I
Is
mean?
that-
Wound back
but like,
too.
no, so
But
are
that
you,
would have
so are you
escalated
guys
as well.
saying
But
that is the right way?
No,
to
it's not. But I'm
asking
saying,
you what is the right way to respond.
I think that he should have used the time to shine a light on that condition. He should, and then everyone would have been talking about how bad it was that Chris Rock made a joke.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been talking about the fact that he slapped him or he resorted to violence. If he had have said, ha ha ha, I know that we all like doing jokes and stuff, but as my wife has said, she is battling with the condition of alopecia. It's a condition that affects this many thousand people or this many million of people in the world. So I don't really think that it's a funny joke, and people would have then given him sympathy and been more aware of something that maybe a lot of people aren't aware of, and it would have actually just been better, really and truly. Then, not to say that Chris Rock should have been on the back foot, but the narrative would have been Chris Rock made a joke that was inappropriate. But then he would have been able to say, I didn't know, or you know what I mean? Like, it would have just worked out better.
But I think what you just said is the right thing to do. But I think when it comes to conflict, a lot of conflicts, even though you could move on, you want to save face. And I think that was what was happening, even with his wife, because you're right. I don't think that was happening because he thought you shouldn't make fun of people with alopecia. He was just thinking, oh, now Jada's upset. I need to go and I think that's the same situation. Like, because if he didn't do it, then he was going to get flack. And I think that
I think-
low-key
no.
is
No,
the
if he didn't-
root
No,
of-
but the thing is with Will Smith, it's been too long that he's been holding shade from Jada. Do you know what I mean? Like, this was not the time for him to try and pick it up.
Yeah.
Like, he should have just sat there and taken the look from her.
I think to a degree it's pride.
Yeah.
What pride has he got left after what Jada's done
But
to him?
that's why he went and slapped the man, because he thought he had to keep some rep going still.
So he's lost
and
all rep.
And instead of
I get that.
taking it out on Jada, who's really the source of all his pain,
Legit.
he went and
The
That's
Tupac
what you do.
jokes
You
came
start
out real
acting
hard
out,
after
isn't it?
that.
Start
I think
lashing out.
that's
Oh
a
my
fundamental. That's a fundamental thing with conflict, though, because like let's now think of all the conflicts in this world. Even Russia right now, I bet Putin would have calmed down if like he didn't have to keep up his rep. I feel like now he can't back down or
Yeah,
he's
it's too
fighting
late
to
now.
the. Do you know what I'm saying?
Nah, but
Like,
what's
No,
good?
but like
It's
for
actually
real
gone
though.
too far now. He can't really go. He can't pull out now. It's too far.
Yeah, Pam says you need to verbalize the reason why you didn't appreciate the joke. But
Yeah.
It's true.
But I think even all of that, I actually don't think he needed to do anything.
no, but do you know what? Like,
The
even
joke was
like
the joke
when
that
he
slipped
won the
under the carpet,
Oscar,
no one even
right?
thought the
When he
joke.
won the Oscar, he really could have like at least like he could have said something. He could have made the situation a bit better. His speech was trash. Like, I just didn't understand. There was no beginning, there was no end. God has called me to love. To love who? You just punched the guy in the face. Like, I don't
The thing is,
understand.
he punched someone in the face, and then
No, it
cried
wasn't,
about it.
Sorry, it wasn't a punch, guys. Can we just
Oh, he
say that it was an
slaps it.
open-handed
It was a
slap?
heavy-bodied slap.
Sorry,
Open palm
his whole
slap.
body weight was
Slap.
behind
But
it.
we
Yeah,
need to
it was.
We need
It
to
was,
give Chris.
it was.
We need to give Will props on his slapping technique, bro.
You brought that from way
He
down
was
in the
poised.
depths.
Like, you know, like sometimes when you slap someone so hard, you lose your balance. Have you guys ever?
He stabilized himself.
never
He got the
slapped
3
Have you ever
points.
got that heavy beats from your mum, and sometimes she stumbles. That's how heavy the beat is. He stumbles afterwards. Chris, Will
a
did it. He
magnificent
spun
slap.
around and he strutted back to his
But
seat.
Chris
with
handled it
confidence.
though.
Chris
Like,
handled
didn't
it.
rub his
I don't
face.
understand how he didn't move.
100%.
He was
If that was
there.
me,
But what
I
was
would have
Chris?
been like,
What was Chris gonna do though?
No, but I think like if you get slapped that much, I know for me, I would have gone flying.
Right,
Like
but
he
it's true,
stood
it's
there.
true, it's true, it's
He's
true.
like,
Imagine he had fallen down, like literally on that stage.
Yeah.
What would have happened then? And could no longer host because he was
Someone would
injured.
have taken Will off the stage. Like actually, like
how they allowed Will to walk up to the
because
stage
they didn't
and
think.
do that.
No one knew he was going to do
and
that.
then they let him
Out of
turn around and
protocol.
walk
All
back.
right.
we had a
Guys, let's bring it back
was
to
crazy.
conflict. We're
All
talking
right,
too
so-
much about the
It's
gist.
true. All right. So, have you guys ever been in a situation where, like, what's your conflict situations been? Any situations you've been in that you've maybe not reacted too well in, or what were your reactions in those? Oh, Rachel has.
It's a younger days is
specific
when you
one.
used to
Yeah,
fight.
yeah,
I am
yeah.
not getting into a physical fight with
Oh, absolutely
nobody
not right
For
now.
for
Not
no
right now, no.
reason right now. I've got 3 kids, man. No time for that.
But it
No
doesn't have to
time.
be physical. It doesn't have to be physical. Conflict's not always physical.
I'm not even shouting at people in public.
Really? We literally just had
In
a
public.
whole
No, with my
thing
friends.
about the tire.
No, but like
that's conflict, is it not?
That was
That
like
was a-
a
that was
shade
a
of
conflict.
A conflict of mind.
that
Kind of
was
a little bit.
conflict.
That was
a
conflict.
No, like you know, some
Disagreement is a conflict.
people are not shy to like have a shouting match in public over something. Nah, man.
The parents outside my window,
Yeah. You told me about
they
that.
had a
I
conflict.
just think it's
Really?
not. I just think it's just not a good look. It's so embarrassing.
Legit.
I just don't like it at all. Like I can do it with friends, banter, we're conflicting, or I have conflicts in private. But when there's people around,
Yeah.
nah, you hold it in.
Yeah, but it's conflict always when there's people around.
No, I'm just saying about that kind. People who just do conflict.
So
in
what about
open.
conflict
No, but
at work?
other types
Like
of
you have
conflict.
conflict
Yeah.
with your boss, your co-workers. Like you disagree. So how do you like?
Once it escalates to a madness,
No, but it doesn't
But
need
why
to
is it always
escalate for it to be
madness? Yeah.
conflict.
then why is it? Okay, can we define conflict?
Yeah,
At what
maybe
point-
we
At
should.
what point
Yeah.
does like
Let's
strong
start
disagreement become conflict?
No, do you
but
not
that's
have
what
like
it is,
someone
though.
at
A
work where you're
serious
just like,
disagreement or argument, typically a protracted one, or a fight, battle, or war. It's
I
those
mean-
kinds
That sounds
of
like a
things.
I might be
third
having,
Google
I might be
answer.
having a
Serious
debate.
disagreement,
I might be
there's
having
argument.
a debate or an argument with someone, but I wouldn't necessarily call that conflict.
But conflict is of 2 different minds, is it not?
No, but then,
Conflicted.
but then you're having conflicts literally every day.
That's it.
No, man. I think there needs
You
to
just
be a
like to
So
argue.
it's not
threshold.
the peace always.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. We're talking.
the definition
I
of
think
turning the
having
other cheek.
debate, having arguments, having stern words. That's not conflict,
It is a conflict.
is it?
It is a type of
Ah,
conflict.
then some conflict is good. Then
Wow.
yeah, some conflict is needed. No, it's true. Some
a good
conflict is
point.
needed.
Yeah.
Then. Like
It
I
is.
think it's a really bad world where people don't step up and say what they need to say, speak the truth in a
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, okay. That definitely comes up at work then.
Oh.
So how'd
Yeah.
you deal
So
with
how'd
it?
you deal with it then? Yeah.
I think the most I've been reading a book, listening to a book.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and one of the things he has in there is like always speak the truth. Like, and he really breaks down how even when it's awkward, it's tense, it's always better for you and the person. Like even trivial things, like someone says, how do I look in this, or if someone is a drunkard and asks you for money, like tell them, no, I'm not giving this to you because of this, this, and this. If you try and just be nice or try and diffuse a situation because you don't want awkwardness, it doesn't help anyone in the long run. So that's why I'm trying to live life by. We kind of talked
you
about
not
this
think-
in our Truthfulness podcast.
We did, yeah.
But then don't you think that sometimes when you are super, super truthful, that can actually cause some conflict?
But that's the good conflict.
It's
That's the
good
good
conflict
conflict,
when,
yeah.
because you said if someone asks you, how do I look in this? And you're just brutally honest.
But
Is that then good?
But that's
then,
not a
But being-
conflict,
Make
though,
you
is
hurt
it?
someone's.
but being
is that-
truthful doesn't mean like in the
It's not always
truthfulness-
gonna be, yeah.
You like being truthful doesn't mean that you have to say it in a way that's blunt. That's just like, do you get what I mean? And that's what we spoke about in the truthfulness. Obviously, there's certain things that you'll say that no matter how nicely you try and put it, it will hurt someone's feeling. But if they need to know that, they need to know that. It can take you a little while to process it. But at the end of the day, for me personally, you've told me it could take me a couple of weeks to process it, but I'll process it and I'll be like, okay, you had my best interest at heart when you were doing this. So, yeah.
And I think that goes to your point of sometimes conflict is needed because it can help a relationship to grow. It can help you to kind of deepen the relationship, because sometimes until you have that serious disagreement, you'll be floating on a superficial level where you don't really know how that person acts in a conflict situation. Do they lose their cool, or do they just give you the silent treatment, or are they actually committed to talking it out with you and seeing it through? So I think sometimes conflict is needed.
And you know what? I like now. Okay,
Like
if we're defining conflict in these ways, and we're saying that there is a positive conflict, I would actually say that there is conflict that's needed, because especially when the situation is bad, like if you're in a situation where someone's getting bullied, someone's getting harassed, someone's getting, or people are doing things that are not in the best interest of everyone, but because of, hierarchies or tradition, it's always been done this way, you think, oh, let me not, break the peace, and you don't say anything. That's bad. I think that we need to be willing to accept a level of conflict. I'm not completely comfortable with the word conflict in this situation. I don't know what the other word is, but I didn't start with thinking that the word was conflict, to be honest. I don't know what's a more appropriate word, but I definitely
Disagreement or
I feel like there is a thing of kind of a healthy tension. Like, I think when you're in a situation, this is why diversity is such an important thing. Because when you're in a group of people that are all thinking the same, it's hard for you to realize that something is wrong unless someone comes in and challenges the norms. So I think that is something that you should actually try and look for by design, like a healthy tension in situations. But I don't think that that's conflict, because I think you're still working together in that situation.
It's just a diversity of minds, a diversity.
Yeah,
of
and you
thinking.
can
Yeah,
you can you
different-
can
yeah, I like
clash.
that.
You can clash. You can
Yeah.
disagree. You can I don't know what would be a better word than conflict for that.
Healthy tension sounds good.
Yeah, I like healthy tension. So I like to infuse healthy tension into situations.
I don't
like
like
that
I don't
a
like
lot.
healthy tension.
So
Do you give me an alternative? Yeah. No, but people say I like to argue, but sometimes in a discussion, when everyone's agreeing too much, let me just throw some
You just
healthy
like to
tension into
disagree.
the discussion. Let me just, sometimes we call it playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
But you wanna-
Tolu loves to do
You
that.
need
That's
to
what
keep
I'm
things a
saying.
bit
Spice it up a
spicy.
little bit.
Then it
Yeah.
goes too far sometimes.
Okay, so now there's a too far. I think we need to talk about, when we hear conflict, we know about the threshold now. You go too far, where feelings are hurt, that kind of thing. Like, when I'm arguing with my wife, I know the point we reach where it's like, this isn't no longer about me trying to just express myself.
It's not productive.
I'm trying to hurt you a
Yeah,
little,
yeah.
and that's a bad place.
Yeah.
No, I'm
That
being
is a
honest.
bad place.
That's a bad place to be. If you guys aren't gonna be honest about things,
Yeah,
I thought
like-
we're here to talk
have,
today.
Yeah, have you never argued to that
Everyone,
point where it's
everyone
like,
winks like Tolu's a dick.
no.
No, please be open.
No. See, this is why, like, and we've talked about this before. When I'm having arguments, debates, or not even arguments with my friend's wife, and I know that we've reached that point, I like to just stop. And I say, listen, leave it. Me and Tadia have had this before, and she gets really upset. But
Yes,
I
I do.
know, I know when we've crossed that line, or when we're reaching that line where the next set of things we say are just gonna hurt each other. now it's just gonna not be a productive situation. And I like to stop at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
people-
even more frustrating for somebody like
Yeah,
me
it
because
can
for
be.
me, I just want to know that what I'm saying is being heard. I just want to make my point, know that you've understood my point, and then move on. But when somebody wants to just cut you dead off and doesn't even like they've said all they wanted to say, now you want to just make your point, and they cut it off. It's like no,
I'm not gonna
no,
lie.
no, don't do that. That's when I now get a bit more like.
Yeah.
Are you okay, bruv?
Hood.
That's when I get
I'm
there.
gonna Chris Rock you.
It's true.
Will
though.
Smith you.
Will Smith you.
I've only ever had that once with you, and I think you know what I'm talking about. More recently, when I came to yours with Steph.
Yeah.
See, I've never experienced that with Tolu.
Yeah.
But I knew, when he said it,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
knew.
yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna stop now because
Yeah.
it's like
It's at a point where it's gonna
yeah.
things are gonna be said and things can't be taken back.
No, but I think I realize
But I
that
appreciate it though.
the thing is, I just think there's a point where you get to where you're not trying. It's not for productive end. It's almost like you're just angry at this point in time, and I just don't think. I know that even the things that I say from that point on are not valid. Like I'm just gonna go and apologize for them afterwards. Like now it's just like I'm bringing up things from the past, or those kind of things. Like that's not useful for anyone. It's not useful for me. It's not useful for you. So I like my conflicts to be productive. If I don't think that you're gonna learn anything from it, or I'm gonna learn from it, and then we're just gonna escalate. Have you had them ones where you're fighting because of a fight,
Yeah.
as
Not
opposed
the
to
actual
fighting
issue.
because of an issue?
Yeah.
And sometimes you've even forgotten what the issue was.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate the most. Because I know when I'm sitting in that and I
Yeah.
feel stupid, but
Yeah.
you're angry now and there's nothing you could do about it, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe one way that it can like shift when you're at that point is to just not talk, but actively listen to what the other person is saying instead of trying to think of a rebuttal.
It's hard to listen
I don't.
once you get to that
Yeah.
point. That's
You're,
what I'm
you're
saying.
But once you've got to the
Don't
heat,
get to that point. Because
You've
once
got
you
in
got
the
to
heat
that
and you're
point,
done.
you've lost it.
Yeah.
It's gone. You're not trying to listen.
I don't think that I actually ever really do try to say things to hurt the other person though. That's me being very honest. Like
No, but you don't
even if I
intentionally
get to
do
that
it.
place,
Intentionally.
Yeah.
I don't know if
just,
I do
it just
find those
spirals.
words. I don't know if I don't feel like I've ever really been there
no,
like
maybe
that.
not
to be
to
very
hurt the
honest.
person, but to win.
Like you're literally
You
you're
really
like,
want to just win at that point. You
I'm
don't want
looking to
I'm
shut
not
this down
to
now
see-
and
agreeing
boom.
with anything you're saying from this point onwards. Like I'm right,
But
and
what-
let's keep.
or you
going.
get
Well, I don't
emotional,
know.
or you get emotional, and like it's now the new beef is that I'm sad, and you've made me sad. Sorry,
We
man.
don't always have to agree though.
Huh?
So you don't always have to win.
No,
You
but
don't
that's a
always have to
logical
agree.
way to think. But once you're in the height of that argument, like
need to-
all
someone-
logic goes out the window.
Someone's got to win this argument, and someone's leaving
listen,
to
That's
win.
dangerous
Maybe-
territory. If you're always going into an argument that I have to win.
No, you
No,
don't
you
enter
don't.
the argument to
Enter
do that.
Wow, maybe
You get
Tanya
in there.
and Bim just haven't experienced this. So that's why. You're having a civil conversation, but then it keeps going, it escalates, it builds. And at some point, it's just like, now you're just going off of emotions, pure emotion. You never reached that point.
I don't think
I mean, I think I have in the past, but now I'm just like it's not conducive. It's not productive.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd
Yes.
rather just be like, okay, we can reach a point where we agree to disagree.
That's
I
it.
just
we
stopped-
both go
I'm
about
like
our
you. I
lives.
literally just stopped talking. At this point, I just stopped talking.
It's
I'm
not
just like,
worth it.
I'm
It's
not
not worth
arguing
it.
anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
walking
not
away
worth
from
it.
this situation.
that's probably one of my toxic traits because I don't like to leave things open like that.
No, but the thing is, I
can't.
I think so. I think,
Not because I
actually-
can't do that.
no, but like I think what
because
we
it
all
then
need to
plays
learn.
on my brain. Like I can't.
But you're not
I'm-
leaving it
I'm now
forever,
not
though,
on-
Tads.
No, but even in that moment, because I don't want an awkward thing where the next day I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about the fact that I could have
Okay.
said this.
But what do you
I don't
define
like
as
like
open though?
Open is-
as in you're both agreed on the same point, or open as in someone apologized. someone
no one has
doesn't
to apologize.
to you.
My whole
just
thing
want
in
the last
argument, I
word.
just want you to.
Yeah, maybe
It's not even the last word. I just want to know that you've understood
Understood.
where I'm coming from. You don't have to agree, but you've understood my point, and whatever you're saying is based on your understanding,
But do you
your
realise that
complete
can't-
understanding of what I've said.
But that
You
can't
don't have
always
to
happen
agree.
in that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
you can't.
And that's what I'm saying. I know that that's the case, right? And I know that, you see, when you're dealing with somebody who maybe needs to take a step away from the conversation for like a day, oh my God, that's like the worst. The worst. Because
I need to go away and think about it.
I hate, like, for me, oh my gosh, like, whoever my husband is going to be, I'm going to have to either try to understand that if he's like that, but I can't.
But you
I
know,
can't.
if you were both like that, it's a disaster waiting to happen.
That's true too. That's true too.
Yeah.
Because then if I just have this thing, I don't know who told me this. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. And that's the thing that I know that's biblical, right? And that's the thing that's always been on my mind. So I don't like to go to bed if this thing hasn't been resolved.
No, but the difference,
Honestly.
No, but the difference is the other person is trying not to get
I
angry.
know. I
So
know.
they wanted to stop so that they don't go to bed feeling like that enraged
I
feeling.
know. Trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
At that point, they're
Trust
not
me, I
angry, but
understand.
you are getting to that anger, and whatever they would say will push you over.
I'm not gonna lie. I think
or
for
whatever
me,
they would say, or whatever I'm saying is going to push them over
Yeah.
because they're not,
And
because
now
they
they
can't
have to
argue
get
like
the-
that.
the paradox
It's
of
difficult.
conflict for me is you don't feel good when you're in a conflict.
No, you don't.
No, I try to avoid
but
it,
we
to be
will. But
honest.
if you are in a conflict, like a proper one, where someone has really hurt you, you won't listen to reason. It's very easy to fix it. A lot of the time, even the worst conflicts, there are things you can do. It might mean you're taking a big L, but there is something you can do to dead this.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
you will,
do that.
but you will not listen to reason, and you're sitting in sadness and anger and bitterness. I just think it's one of the most kind of like backwards ways that our brain works. That we would feel this way. No one's winning here.
No, but what do you do when that happens? Because sometimes I will call some of the one person that I know is just like pretty level-headed a lot of the time anyway, is my cousin Mika Yinka.
Of course.
I'll just call her and be like, am I crazy? This is what happens. And if she says to me, okay, no, you're not crazy. I'm like, okay, cool. I feel a bit justified here, you know, in saying what I'm saying. If she's a bit like, no, but actually, if you see it like this, then I'm like, okay, I am very good at knowing if I'm maybe in the wrong and being able to accept the fact that, okay, maybe I should have seen it like this. And funny enough, I do sometimes see things the day after. So actually,
All
that
the
rest time actually does
Needed.
help.
Oh my
But I don't
gosh.
know why in that moment I can't let it go. Like, yeah.
Do you know
it's
how
actually an
many
issue. I can't let things go
emails
sometimes.
at work that in the heat of the moment I've drafted it and then
that's
the Holy
dangerous.
Spirit
Say
has
don't
just told
send
me
it.
don't send
Don't
it
send
yet.
it.
Come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, there was
it's
one
good.
I did send,
Oh.
and then by the time I had hit send, the other person
Had already opened it?
already emailed
Oh
me
my
saying, "Oh, I'm so
goodness.
sorry for what I just
Oh no,
said."
did you
Like,
not
it-
retract the email? Because you know you can
could've,
do
it
that.
was too late. It was too late.
They had already opened
I
it.
then got
They had
another,
already
I
sent
then
it.
got another email back from them saying, "Okay, noted." Like the Holy Spirit, why did I listen to you this time?
Right, so but then how good do you think you guys are at picking your battles?
I've become.
I think I'm quite good.
I'm a lot better at it now.
Yeah.
It's just long. I don't want to feel
I want
this.
peace in my life.
I want
like,
peace.
And I think that's
I
like my
cannot be
driving
bothered.
thing at this point in my life.
Yes.
I can't do conflict. Like,
It's long. It's just not worth
but
it.
I know that there are points where there are issues that I need to address for my own peace as well. So those are the ones where I will allow myself to potentially get into like a conflict about, but I try to avoid conflict at all costs because my spirit can't.
No,
take
no,
it.
but okay. Let's
think that's
talk.
come
Let's
from
is
age?
that no? But like, is that positive? Like, are you avoiding conflict or are you avoiding resolving an awkward issue?
I don't think it's avoiding conflict because I've learned to be good at just letting things go. Do you get what I mean? So it's not like I'm avoiding it. The things that I know that actually is not that deep for me and I can let it go and it's not going to affect me, I will let it go. But if it's sitting, like if it's actually weighing me down and I think, look, I can't actually get over this and this is not good for our relationship, I will address it.
Okay.
That's the key word for me. I think relationship defines the battles that I pick or don't pick. If it's a relationship, a friendship that I know that we're going through this journey and there may be ups, there may be downs, I know that I need to commit to that process. So that sometimes means addressing conflict head on. Like it means having an uncomfortable conversation. It means like saying to someone that what you said didn't really sit well with me, or you know what you did hurt me. And depending on the value and weight of your relationship, they should be able to hear you and make adequate adjustments. I feel like those type of battles are necessary, are healthy, and you know necessary for you to go the long haul in a good relationship, friendship. But other things where I know it's just not worth my time, I don't really know you, you don't really have an impact on my life, you're not really in my circle, or like sometimes like it could be a comment on social media, or you know someone trolling you. That's really not going to get my time or
Even
energy.
road rage, I don't have time to be shouting
Oh,
at
see,
someone in a
road
car.
rage is not even a thing for me.
Not great.
Oh,
for that,
I
boy.
used
Not
to
gonna
do
lie.
it.
Thing for me.
I have been driving for the
definitely
last
have
2
it.
months and I feel better.
You know, legit. If you don't have to deal with the M25 every day,
No, but
I'll tell you, that's something to your spirit.
what someone was preaching once and said, like, we think of that as a small thing, but
Yeah.
use that as if you can control that, you are able to control a lot more than you think in your.
no, but the thing
in
is,
your
every now and
personal
again, I
life.
feel that I can
I've told you guys
control
before.
rage.
Praying.
Control it.
I can control
then-
it.
Literally in the
be
midst
praying,
of praying on
but
the
then
road.
immediately
In the you see why you stop? And I'm like, sorry God. Like literally.
Like a month ago, or like maybe a couple of weeks ago, my little brother came to mine and I was driving back home and it was like one of those like roads, like a slip road, but they were merging into one. And obviously I had right of way at this situation, but this guy, like almost in like parallel to me, he cut me off. I got so angry at him. I started shouting at him, and then my little brother was like, he's not even from this country. Like I felt so like literally
he
so
didn't understand.
bad. He was like, Rachel, his
wait, hold on,
license
hold on,
plate
hold
is
on.
not from this
Say,
country.
that doesn't make sense. You shouldn't be driving if you don't know the
No,
the
but
rules.
I
no,
said,
he
like-
didn't understand.
So you shouldn't
He
drive
wasn't
then.
doing it
No, but as
intentionally.
in like
Shouldn't be driving.
you should like as in like you have to allow a little bit of grace.
No, I
Like,
shouldn't allow
felt
you
so
anything. These
bad
are my
for him,
roads.
like for the
Drive
entire
properly.
drive home.
You know, on Amazon,
Dwayne said these are my roads.
on Amazon, there are these screens that you can get, that you can write something and like put it on the back of your
Wait, what?
car.
what?
Like just like a dot matrix.
Or like a
screen.
matrix screen.
Like a dot matrix screen, and like you can write a word.
Do you know the red and
can
black
write a
screens that
word?
Yeah,
roll
yeah,
across
yeah,
words?
Just there's a
Oh.
screen, and you can write a word to tell someone. I actually wanted to buy one of those. I can tell people about themselves. You know, I can like tell you.
The ungodly
I can tell you about
beep.
yourself. I feel when you reach that point, you know, this is just unproductive.
Yeah, I'm
It's not
petty.
helpful.
No, wait, hold on a second. My wife is calling me out. I can't control it.
No,
mate.
Dwayne, I've been with you. You cannot control road rage.
I don't drive much
Cannot-
anymore.
yeah,
I
you
control my
drive-
road
you
rage by not
drive every
driving.
day. You drive every day.
I don't drive every day.
Fair enough. It's
I
true.
work from home.
It's true. No, but I just think this is one thing that is bringing it back to the Bible. I think it's fundamental, and I think it is the root of kind of because we're social beings, right? And there is no way we don't butt up against each other. I don't think like the biblical principle expects that there will never be conflict or that there'll never be disagreement. In fact, I do think that, like we said, in terms of the positive tension, I think it expects that there will be, but it expects that how we deal with that is very different. If we look at all of the Sermon on the Mount, It's all about how you deal with conflict. So I wanted to ask you guys. I don't know. Sorry, I'm asking.
please.
I want to just like, what are the ways you guys, when you're in conflict, what are the best ways you guys use to deal with the conflict that you're in? Like, do you actually ever apply the biblical principles that we read from the Sermon on the Mount?
Can you list those out?
What are they?
Okay, let's
turn the other
let's-
cheek.
Let's
If
go.
someone slaps you on one side, turn the other side. If someone steals your tunic, give them your coat as well. If someone asks you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. If your enemy comes and starts doing a madness, you know, pray for them. I remixed that one slightly.
I was like, where to go with this one?
But like, so like, what are we actually saying about those principles?
Sounds like it's saying be a mug.
Wow.
It is what it's saying.
Yeah,
No, that is what it's saying.
Yeah, that actually
Like,
is what it's
let's look at
saying.
Jesus. I'm not gonna lie.
You calling
A
Jesus
lot
a
of
mug?
people probably thought
Yeah.
this guy's a mug.
Yeah.
Like,
Calling
he came
Jesus a
here
mug.
talking all this big talk, talking
Wow.
about, that's what people would have said. He came here talking all this big talk, and now they just killed him on the cross. That's what people would have been saying.
Especially as the disciples really expected him to be like a warrior.
That's it.
You know, they really
The
thought he
lion
was
of the tribe
there
of Judah.
to
Like,
war,
yeah.
to resolve all the conflicts that they have been having over all these
Yeah.
years. They believed he was coming with his own added ginger of conflict
Yeah.
to come and war these people, and then he came with peace. Like what? Even I think in Bible study when we were talking about when you were actually telling us about what happened with Moses. I said Moses? Moses, yes. To make sure it was Moses. When Moses kept going to Pharaoh and how he dealt with everything. Obviously, you're the best person to kind of explain it, but that kind of, the way that conversation went really taught me something about how to then deal with conflict and leaving it in God's hands and stuff. You know, we always say, let go and let God. Do we actually do that? I don't know how much we actually do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But Todd, give us a quick overview of what you had said in that conversation, because I feel like it
I
was.
know now I would have, reread my notes, but I know. So basically, we were talking about the fact that Moses, he obviously came up in the Egyptian time when the Egyptians were really subjugating the Israelites, beating them, putting them in slavery. And Moses always had a heart to kind of help his people out. The way he sought to do that the first time round was he went and actually killed an Egyptian that was beating up an Israelite. And in his head, that's justice, right? That's me doing the thing. But that action actually led to his exile. It led to Pharaoh wanting to kill him. It didn't lead to a positive outcome, just like Cain and Abel, leading to his exile.
Yeah.
So I think that's one portrait of what resolving conflict looks like. Go and fight back. Use your own power to defeat the enemy. But I think the biblical portrait is then what happens next. When God comes to meet Moses and he tells him, listen, I want to rescue these people. Because that's the thing. A lot of the time, the reason why we go and fight our own battles is because we think that is the way to fight God's battle. A lot of the time, there's a lot of people thinking, I'm doing the right thing. But we don't recognize that, no. God fights his own battles. God never sent us to go and fight. He will fight, however, on our behalf.
Yeah.
He will actually bring justice and judgment to a situation that is wrong.
Yeah.
But he will never send you to go and fight. What he does send you to do is to be his mouthpiece. What he sent Moses to do is to go and tell Pharaoh, yo, Pharaoh, you're doing wrong. And it was God that did if you're not going to listen, it was God that did the action. But he didn't send Moses to go and fight Pharaoh. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the difference for me, what I was learning from that conversation we had, because I used to think like turn the other cheek means I'm going to go sit down, you can just slap me, I'm a doormat. But from that example, we see that no, Moses spoke up against the injustice. He says, no, Pharaoh, let these people go. Let them go and worship their God. So we can speak out, we can challenge injustice, but when we start to pick up stones to throw, once we start to, find ways to lord our power over whether that's, through, finding ways to, like, even if it's legislation. When we try and use legislation to stop other people from doing what they want to do, but we're using our power to stop them, I think that's when we are fighting the battle with our own means. And I think that that's not the way Jesus would have done it. So that's kind of like we talked about a lot more. I can't remember. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
I feel like it didn't quite hit the way we did it when we hit a Bible study.
You explained it in like 2 minutes. It's not going to really go. But I feel like it was a really good overview because that was kind of how it kind of then came over. That's literally the point that it then came down to, which was, let go and let God, and about how we do that. What are we actually trying to do in those kinds of situations? Is it to show ourselves strong, or is it to show God in that kind of a situation? So we did have like, a situation of a child at a school, and something was said to that child, and literally the one thing to do is to how do you react as a parent on behalf of that child in that situation? Do you go and talk to that child's parents? Do you go and report it higher to the I was going to say principal, to the head teacher, because we're in England, to the to
They're not called principals here?
Head teacher.
They're
Oh,
called the head
Yes,
teacher.
teacher.
Yeah. Tolu's lived everywhere, really. So he's an international guy. To the head teacher, or what's the best way to react in some of these situations? I know that when we asked the question about have we ever all been in conflict, no one really said anything, but really and truly there are conflicts that we've all been in, whether it be with somebody at look at the restaurant that we were in yesterday. I was really ready to go to war about the starter situation.
I was ready to go to a war for that guy.
I was ready in that space, and I was like, no, we're not doing this. It's okay.
I was
Rachel said,
so
"No,
ready.
it's all right."
Because for me, I hate injustice. I feel like
Wait, what happened?
we didn't order Rachel didn't order the starter when we all ordered our starters, and then she was gonna order it, and then
no,
it's
no.
not gonna be included in the menu. And I was really, really annoyed by that. I was ready. Rachel calmed me down. She said, it's okay, don't worry. But I can still
Sounds
see
gone.
Rachel's face that garlic bread she wanted it. I was so ready. Rachel, please. And I like those guys. It's really bad. I like that kind of stuff. That's the kind of company that I do like. If it's to bring down the price of the Sky thing, if you want me to speak to EE to bring your price down, oh gosh, I love it. Like, you
I feel like that's justified conflict, like, we need to save money.
Those kinds of conflicts I'm ready for.
No, I was listening to a podcast, and they were saying it's basically three guys from South London, and one of them, when he was younger, he was really, really like, he was ready to fight. Like any little thing, he was ready to fight, and he was just like, as he grew up, like one of the things that really helped him when it came to conflict was being slow to catch disrespect. And then like I don't know how you train yourself to just not catch on to disrespect, because I think oftentimes a lot of the things that we do is born out of feeling like your pride has been injured, or like someone's like someone's like disrespecting you. But if you train yourself to actually take a step back, like by the time like you catch the disrespect, the moment it's gone, you can't even react. You get what I mean? It's gone. You're just like, well, what am I gonna do?
And to be fair, that is scriptural, because we should be slow to anger and quick to, I can't remember the other part, but slow to anger. I can't remember the other part.
Someone on the chat, can you help? Can you know what that Bible verse is? Quick to forgive, or
No, I feel like that's not it.
We're not reading our
We
Bible.
actually need to find
I
that
mean,
scripture now.
I wasn't like
But you should find
that
it though.
That's what that person is doing in that
Yeah.
moment where they're slow to catch disrespect. It's like it doesn't even compute in their brain that you're disrespecting me because I'm slow. In that respect, I'm slow.
Yeah.
I,
good.
I think
That's
in what we need, I think when someone disrespects you, or does something to you, you want to feel on top of it again or feel in control of it. And I think, unfortunately, something that we all need to learn is to be able to take the L a lot more for the greater good. Not just take the L and then nothing good comes out of it. But I think all of those principles that Jesus Christ gave that we talked about, it's not just, I'm letting you slap me on the other cheek. It's because that is a means to help you realize that violence isn't the way forward. Like, look at Chris Rock being the bigger man. I'm so happy that Chris Rock didn't, file charges or anything like that. Because in that way, now now no one can say anything wrong about Chris Rock. Like, Will can't hide behind anything here. Like, you've gone and just done something nasty to this person. This person's just taking it and being cool about it.
Should you always just take it though?
I think that's a more powerful way to disarm the other person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In this situation, I can say that, maybe the best thing to do for him, or I don't even know whether it's the best thing, but I think it's understandable that he would not press charges. But I think there are certainly situations in life where you should press charges.
Give me the scenario. I'm not disagreeing.
Like, in terms of like actual physical bodily harm, like violence, I don't think the solution to that is saying I'm going to be a bigger person, therefore I'm not going to report this
because
and
in
press
that
charges.
again, like we said, like, what is the thing to help the other person? I think in that situation, to help the other person, if they've done something like so bad that they need to face some consequence to help them, just like that scripture where it says, throw them out so that they can go and actually like experience the devil so that they come back once they've experienced the devil.
Wait, what are these scriptures? Like, what?
You know that scripture.
I don't know that scripture.
I was really nodding, but I didn't know.
I don't know.
It's a scripture that if someone is wilding out in the church and like sleeping with their father's wife,
Yeah, I know the scripture.
and they
okay.
keep doing it after many elders have gone and spoken to them, they're still doing something that's crazy. Push them out so that they can really face the world. It's like the prodigal son, right? Like, you go out there, you go and experience a situation, and then you'll see the light, and then you can come back. So I don't think like in that situation, that person might need to be reined in a bit. But I still think even that person, like, if you just start punishing, this is why the jail system doesn't work, and this is why like punishment and stuff doesn't work in the world right now. Because all it does is people go to jail and become even more violent. People go to jail, they've only had one offense. By the time they come out, they're like now a hardened criminal. Because violence begets violence, punishment begets worse violence. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I
you're
probably
not-
don't need
you're
to
not
make this point, but I don't
advocating-
know if the whole. I think it's maybe what happens in jail is maybe the thing that is. I feel like if you go, there's places where you go to jail and you're doing things every day that you need to be getting done. Do you get what I'm saying? You're not
Exactly,
just
but
chilling in your
but think about
room
it, Tadio.
with too much time.
Some
you're,
people are
you have to
annoyed by
be.
that.
You got to work.
Some people are annoyed by the fact that, you send someone to jail for killing someone, and then you're now pumping money in to rehabilitate that person, help that person get GCSEs, help that person work on their anger management. Some people are like, why do they deserve all of that investment? I think that
What's the solution then in that kind of a situation?
I think that's exactly what rehabilitation. Spend more
Okay.
money rehabilitating. Some people think it's like, no, it should just be punishment. You should just be in a hole
What do you
somewhere
call it?
and
What's it called that they do sometimes? Like in jail, what's it called?
Labor.
Hard labor.
yeah. But some people think that that's what it's a punishment for your thing. But I think the principle of turn the other cheek is no. Let's help you become a better person,
Right.
so that you don't want to do that and you don't hurt someone else, and society is better for it. You can then contribute to society.
Yeah.
Like that's the better answer.
As well as helping someone to become a better person, there are consequences for people's actions. So I think it's twofold. You can help someone and rehabilitate them, but there also are consequences that they will have to face for their actions. Not necessarily you acting that out on them. I believe that God fights our battles, but God also is a God of justice. So
Yeah,
if someone has wronged you,
I think that's the point. Who's giving out justice?
God.
Yeah, exactly. So the jail system where you're putting them to punish them, that's not God. That's us. That's you putting them in jail. So if it goes beyond rehabilitation, in that situation, that's not God's punishment in that moment. Like, I'm not saying God won't punish. I'm not saying that person won't face consequences, but there is a level of punishment that we are just adding on top.
Wait, what's the level that we're adding on top?
When people are just sent to jail just for the sake of jail.
So you think sending people to jail is not a
I
form
think the
of
whole
God's
jail system
is
yeah.
not a form of God's justice?
I don't.
So
Really?
what's the
Oh,
alternative?
I'm not. If someone is doing craziness out there, I'm not like against bringing them out of society and rehabilitating them, giving them the things they need to.
So
That's
your
what jail
problem
is.
is with the way jail
It's a nice
functions
jail.
now.
It's
a nice jail.
It's
That's
still
what-
jail
I
because
don't
they're
think
not
it's-
with.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying rehabilitation. I'm not saying that you just leave people to be wilding out. But what I'm saying is the part where we think justice needs to be served, i.e., you need to be locked behind bars for 35 years, even though you've changed, even though you're rehabilitated, even
But
though you're...
isn't that what is it parole? Isn't that what it is? Yeah, where you can your sentence can be shortened.
Yeah.
No, but there's
depending on
people...
Yeah, but that's a problem with the way the jail system
Yeah, that's
actually
what we're-
is,
so
and
that's
that
what
like
we're-
yeah.
That's what we're saying. No, but the jail system... the jail system isn't just for rehabilitation.
That's what I think.
Yeah, but that's what we're all
your
saying
issue
is that your issue is the way that is carried
What-
out.
But I
going
think
on
Ben's
in the
question
jail.
is beyond just rehabilitation. Some people do. You should get the consequence of your action, and part of that consequence is you're sitting in a jail cell for. That's what Bim is saying. So I'm just responding to what Bim is
and
saying.
I
I think
so.
people do have to
I
face up
think
to
you
the
should.
consequences
Yeah,
of their
I don't think
actions.
that's a necessary. I think there's.
I think you can do
there's,
things
I think
there.
there's multiple other ways to face up to your actions than
Maybe,
that are more
maybe
productive
depending
than-
on whatever.
By
you're-
removing them from
depending on whatever
society
it
and
is that you-
rehabilitating them.
No, the rehabilitating them part is fine. We're all in agreement. Let's assume there's someone. It will take you 2 years to rehabilitate them for stealing some chewing gum, but instead you send them to jail for 5 years.
People are going
So
to jail for
I'm
course.
saying, if it's the 2 years, you only send them for the 2 years. Once they're rehabilitated,
yeah, of
go and find a
course.
different way to get productive use out of them.
Yeah.
Yes,
As opposed to
I-
keeping them in for 5
Yes.
years
Okay.
because that is the consequence of this action. But that's
Yes.
that's how the law
That's
system
what.
works.
Yes,
I
yes,
think
yes. And
what
that's
you're
where the
describing
problem
is the flaws in the systemic,
yes. That's
like,
the flaws in
jail
the
system.
Yes.
So when you say consequence, what's the consequence?
The
that
fact
you're
that they're
talking
going
about?
to jail
going
is
to-
the consequence.
yes.
But the way that system works may be
Is-
flawed
yes.
as it is today. But the fact that they go there is a consequence.
So like
Yes.
I'll give an example.
Yes.
I was watching this thing with these like gangs in America, and it was like a trial thing. So this guy's brother got killed, and then this other the brother of the guy went to go and kill the other or tried to kill the other gang member for killing his brother. What normally you would send both of these guys to jail because you've all been involved in this thing. But what they did instead was, I can't remember what it was called. I'll try and find a video, we can link it. What they did was they brought them together and they got them to talk to each other and explain, like, why did you go and do that? Why did you go and do that? What is going on here? And they both, when they unpacked it, they realized, like, it was a misunderstanding. He didn't really kill his brother intentionally. It was a scuffle, blah, 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 and that was how they created peace. And no one had to go to jail in that situation.
Oh wow.
But they had resolved the situation. All parties involved had restitution or whatever you need to call
Wow.
it. But there was no need for consequence being jail. Now they felt the guy was in tears because he was facing up to what he had done. Like, now your brother doesn't live because of me, and he had to face that. And now he had to sit in front of the person. So I think that he felt the consequence of his action. There was no need for jail to be part of that consequence. That's all I'm saying. Like, there are ways to.
I mean, that's a beautiful story. But I feel like does that in reality always work
course
in
not.
every
Of
No.
course
situation?
not.
I
It's
guess
what is
in-
required. Some people wouldn't have responded to that. So I'm not against kind of if you need to remove someone from society, but I think you're removing them to work on them. That's all I'm saying. Like I think we are removing them and we are investing in that person.
Okay.
As a society, we're lovingly investing in that person until they can do. I don't think there's such a thing as lock someone away and throw away the key. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So then obviously we've kind of gone around.
I mean, what do people
gone
think? Let us
around.
know. Pam's been saying some stuff, you know. Pam said there was a
Let's
video
get
that
into
went.
these comments.
There was a
Yeah.
video that went viral of a man who forgave his son's killer and hugged him in court. It affected the man who murdered so much in a way that he will change his life forever. It takes a very strong man to be able to do that. Many people I know would retaliate and be expected to retaliate. Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
In the face of conflict
And-
or
and-
a
and-
situation where it could have been a negative form of conflict, I guess, or a negative form of, because obviously if something's happened, you can react in a way that it's angry, you're angry and,
And it
stuff. But I
perpetrates-
guess in this way, it was more of a loving response to.
Did any of you guys watch The Last Kingdom?
No,
Not
you
yet.
Watch it,
keep
man.
talking
Not
about
yet.
this. though.
Uhtred is my dog. Anyways, like you see it, like literally, this one killed this one's king. I need to retaliate, so I'm gonna go and kill, and they end up killing this one's queen.
That's what's happening on these
because
streets.
you killed my queen. I now need to kill your son's queen, and then the next generation, I'll never forget what he did to my mother, and then I'm gonna go kill. And it was literally the whole series from season
these
1 to
spoilers?
season 5. No. I mean,
You know this guy.
Barry were getting killed, but I'm just saying, like, that's what happens with conflict. Someone
That's how
at
it
one point,
happens,
someone
yeah.
just needs to be like, "I'll take the L and dead this." You know, I won't give you the consequence you deserve. And that's the thing we need to. That's what I'm trying to say. Like sometimes for this to work, the other person might not get the consequence that we think they deserve.
Yeah.
And we leave that to God.
That's
what
the
it
main
is, though.
thing.
That's
like
the main
to
thing,
God.
I
God
think.
will
God, of course.
exact his justice.
God.
He's a
yeah,
fair and equitable God.
Of
so
course.
it's just not us.
exactly.
Vengeance belongs to God.
That's it.
That's what it is.
That's
so you
it.
just have to like leave it
You
and
just
be
have
like,
to
God,
leave- yeah.
But it's very
God do-
difficult,
It's
though.
hard to
difficult,
sit down
and that's
with that,
what the
yeah.
problem
It's
is. That's
difficult
what
to
we need
leave.
to
Yeah.
try and do.
It's
basically.
because if we
Yeah.
don't, and if we don't feel like God has done it here and now, we don't feel like it's been done.
Yeah,
and that's the
yeah.
same thing with Moses and the Israelites. Like even the people that were being saved, they were complaining the whole way through. Even when Moses went to Pharaoh and they'd seen all these things happen, they told Moses stop.
because
Like,
he was
Pharaoh
because
was
there because
Exactly.
it was because Pharaoh was being even harder on
even
them.
harder on them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So like letting go and letting God doesn't always feel good for the person
Yeah,
that is
of course,
receiving
of
it.
course,
It
yeah.
might feel even worse in the moment, and that's the difficulty in being able to accept that God is actually the one to actually fight this battle.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
I think that's kind of the point, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
it is really trying to understand that we do need to, when we do say let go and let God, like it's not just words, it's not just a saying, it's not just a phrase that we just say, but it's really something that we need to take to heart, and also understand that it's not always going to be how we want it to be. Like we have to actually feel comfortable in that, because I know that for me, forgiving somebody when I haven't seen the particular person that I've been struggling to forgive, because I haven't seen that vengeance really, really upon their life, it has been hard for me to forgive, right?
Yeah.
But that's something that I need to let go of. I need to let go of the fact that I might not see that justice happen.
Yeah.
I just might not see it.
Yeah.
But I have to be able to know that it's okay. God's gonna handle it anyway. You know what I mean?
But do you think that God always like enacts justice? Because like,
The
I
way
feel
that
I know,
we
but
think.
I think that sometimes things do happen in life in order to get certain, like let's say in order to get certain people out of your life, right? It doesn't, like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes things
that's another
do
way to-
happen.
yeah,
Like, do you get what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there are
So
situations
I don't get it.
yeah,
like
I
there
get
might
that,
be
actually.
situations in your life, like people where like conflict has arisen, arose,
Arisen.
arisen,
Risen. Maybe just risen.
has come up. And like obviously like things happen and it hurts you deeply, but I think that sometimes things happen in order for certain people to be removed from your life.
Ooh.
But
Wait,
that
so what
doesn't
do- what do you
necessarily
mean-
mean
What do you mean? Like things happen? Like so?
No, I'm
so
feeling
the
this a
person
lot, Rachel.
Has,
Speaking to
You're speaking to my
wait,
soul.
please, let her speak to me too. I just want to understand it. So you're saying someone is doing things that are not favorable for you, and then a conflict has arisen between you and that person, so that that person can no longer be in your life.
yeah,
I
as
wanna,
in like
wait. I want to make it make sense for him, please. I beg.
Have a
Please,
go.
because you said it and it's really, really, really doing
I
a
really
lot.
don't understand where I'm
I
going
know.
now.
Someone
know.
explain it to me, please.
No,
Because she explained. Sorry, I know.
go on.
The example that I gave, right?
Yeah.
We all know the example, right? So, in what you're saying, sometimes I guess the way what I'm understanding is maybe that happened because God needed to remove.
Yeah,
that
as in
person.
like,
so there
like
isn't any
no,
kind
but
of
I generally don't
retribution that needs to
believe
maybe
that
happen
always
because
that
it
people
needed to
will get a
happen.
consequence here, and now on this earth for what they have done. Like, do you get what I mean? And God is the forgiving God. So if that person cries out for mercy, do you think God is still do you get what I mean? God is not still going
I'm
to
actually happy with it.
actually like I don't believe that God still needs to
Yeah, I
punish
get
them for their
you.
action if they have like they have repented for what they have
100%.
done.
Yeah.
And the consequence of that is that, you know what, like this person doesn't need to be in your life. Cool. You
That's
like,
just
do you get what I
it.
mean? So
Ooh.
I don't necessarily think that the whole like vengeance is God. It doesn't mean that God always.
Enacts vengeance on them. Yeah, man.
have a
Ooh.
We've got a comment. Sorry, someone says we really need to develop the heart of God so that self and pride do not take over. Good convo. Thank you.
Thanks. Well, Bim has a butt.
Sorry, I still don't understand.
Oh, you didn't get it when I said it?
What you said is different from what Rachel then said.
No, I used it as an
No, because Rachel said,
an example.
I get what Rachel said, like, sometimes the person might not face any consequences.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
God
But
might...
we're still sitting here waiting for that person to
Yeah.
get a
No,
consequence.
I don't actually... I'm saying that's not what we should be doing.
Yeah,
But
I know.
I'm
That's what she's
talking
saying.
to what Tads is saying as
Yeah.
well. Like,
yeah.
I
Let's just put it this
Let's-
way.
yeah, let Bim-
I feel like it's easier for me to forgive now.
If that's the outcome, then great.
But that's a dangerous place to be though, because your forgiveness should not be dependent on whether you see
yeah, this is
Exactly,
what I'm saying.
and
This is
that's
what we're
why.
saying.
person has, gotten
Yes.
some type of vengeance. But I still believe that God is a God of judgment. Whether you see it or not doesn't mean that, like, whether you've not seen it doesn't mean that God hasn't done it. Because I
But
feel
maybe
like
he
God
hasn't.
is a fair God.
No, but this is
But
what I'm
maybe he
saying. The same
hasn't.
way that you would expect God to forgive you, because God
Yeah.
is merciful at the core of his being. God is a
Forgiveness
merciful
different
God.
from bearing the consequences
Yeah,
of
but
your actions.
but in forgiving
I
you,
can
God,
forgive you, but you're still
yeah,
gonna go
but
through the
in
consequence.
forgiving you, I genuinely believe that God doesn't always give you the consequence that you deserve. Like, do you get what I mean? That is God through and through. That's what His mercy is. His mercy is that we don't get the consequences that we deserve.
So
All the
what,
time.
So what are
I
you saying, that you
typically-
can be reckless and
No,
then just go and repent
no,
and you
no,
don't get the
no,
consequence
no,
because you know that
no,
God is merciful?
No,
No, but
This is
that's-
only
no.
in. I feel like this is when we're talking about in this kind of context is when somebody has done something to you that you now feel like you deserve vengeance for, right? Like, so for example, it needs to happen, right? But actually, in this person's quiet time, they may have come to realization that they've done something wrong and they have now come to God and asked for forgiveness. Maybe they haven't come to me, but they have gone and asked for forgiveness. In that moment, right, God may just show mercy on them and forgive them, and whatever the consequence is, that it might not happen in the way that I think that it should happen. It might happen in another way. I don't know. But what I'm looking for shouldn't be like, just like you said, actually, it shouldn't be based on what I can see.
Yeah.
Because I can't see anything.
I agree.
But if it doesn't, if nothing, if what I'm looking for is for this person's car to be scratched, that might not be what it is.
Yeah.
And it's likely not going to
Agreed.
be that, right? But I should be okay with whether or not that happens now or it doesn't happen, because it might not happen. I don't think, because there's a lot of things that I think we've all done in our lives that maybe we think that actually, if God really was gonna punish all of us, but He's so merciful that
So can we be clear?
there's a lot that we haven't.
Just because I think we're blurring the boundaries in like theology now. Let's just be clear. God has forgiven everyone
For everything
of their
already.
sins
Yes,
already.
already.
There's
Already.
no one that is offending you and waiting for forgiveness.
No,
If that person
yes.
should go and
It's
be
there.
willing to
Of
accept,
course.
forgiveness is there, which is different from the consequences. The consequences of that person's actions is they have hurt you, they have brought evil into the world, they have brought sadness into the world. That's the consequence that they need to live with. But I don't think that God is still gonna punish that person. I don't think that that's like through
Which is what we're
Jesus.
saying.
That's
Yes.
that's the grace.
Yeah,
That's
this is what
unmerited.
That's what we're
That's what we're
saying.
saying.
That's
Yeah.
what we're saying.
But
Because
I don't- I
think
I'm
the
talking.
vengeance part-
I think.
Why is everyone point at me?
No, Bim, I'm trying to understand, like, because I think you're still. I question mark. Do you still think that like there is a consequence beyond like the natural consequence of the negative thing that person has done? Like something that there will still be
That something has to happen.
something will happen to that person.
I just think this narrative sounds like someone can come into your life, do a madness.
No, that's not what
No,
I'm saying.
no,
at
no,
all.
Let's see, I want to hear it,
Because
please.
you know that, God is merciful, and they've gone to repent. That's it, and there's no like restitution,
So-
or there's no
But
consequence of their actions,
No, but-
which is a natural phenomenon.
But the consequence is all the bad stuff that has happened, and
That's not a consequence. That's
that
a
is
fact.
the consequence.
That's-
Exactly,
that's-
but that is
that's-
the consequence of the bad. Like
That's
being practical.
What is a happening? That's not a
Exactly.
consequence.
No, but you're saying. I think you're using the word consequence, but thinking punishment or some like.
Yeah, I think Bim is like
you're-
still
you're
something
thinking
else needs to
something
happen.
else, because
and it has
if-
to, and
if-
that thing has to be a negative thing that
Well, yeah,
that
that
person has to
person-
For
feel
that person to
thing.
learn.
And I think that's
Yes.
different from. I don't
No,
think that's a
not-
consequence, Bim.
No, not necessarily like punishment or a negative thing, but you did X and doing X causes Y. That's what
But
I'm
what-
saying.
but the
But that's
practical-
It depends on what the
But
But the
X is.
practical why. So if, for instance, I go and have extramarital sex with someone, I've hurt my wife, but the consequence could be now I've now impregnated someone else. I need to sit with that. I need to live with that. It's a natural consequence. Now my situation, even if my wife forgives me, that's literally what happened in the Bible, by the way, with Abraham and Hagar. And instead of him waiting for the promised child, he goes and rapes Hagar. And then now there's a whole lineage that comes out of Hagar. Even though God made that situation good and still gave him the blessing, all the descendants of Ishmael are the people that are warring with his children down the line. Natural consequence. Now you've created a division between two brothers that wouldn't have existed if you just done the right thing in the first place. That's not an extra outside
I never
punishment
said it
that
was
God
an extra.
is doling on the person.
You did X and it caused Y. What
Yeah.
you just
You
what
just
you
said
just
that.
described is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is that that doesn't necessarily, that consequence didn't necessarily get faced by Abraham. That consequence was faced by his descendants. By Abraham himself.
which is an extension of Abraham.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in his lifetime, he might not have experienced, he might have just lived the rest of his life kushti.
So what you see, this is the problem I have with that explanation and narrative, because it sounds like someone can do whatever and
Nothing comes of it.
exactly they're still kushti because God is merciful.
And I think that,
and
But the thing
I
is,
think
is
that
that
is
people
it.
don't usually come and do a madness thinking God's going to forgive me for this madness. They just do a madness.
And
a
then
lot
in
of the time.
hindsight, you're
And then
like-
in hindsight, they now go and say, oh, rah, I did a madness.
Look.
And then maybe they now go to God. If God is who they go to anyway, right? You know what I mean? Like if it's a situation where someone's doing something to you to hurt you, they're not doing that thing to, it's not like when people do sin, like, and they are doing the sin knowing, oh, God, please help me. When they're doing this action to you, they're usually not even thinking about, God,
The
please forgive me.
consequences.
They're not thinking about the consequence. They're just living in the moment of the bad thing that they're doing to you
Yeah.
because maybe they feel like that's what they need to do at that point, or maybe they're just being really horrible at that point. They're not thinking about God in that moment. They're only thinking about themselves and you. And sometimes not even you. They're thinking about themselves. And what happens in the end is that they then hurt you, right? So in that moment, it's only when they maybe go back that what you're saying, that you don't really like the fact that someone can come and do a madness and then just pretty much just get away with doing the madness, right? I think what it is that they can do the madness. It's not that they get away with it, but are they really getting away? It's only if they maybe come back and face it that they really feel that they've done the thing. If they don't care,
I think
they
we
don't
need to-
care.
I think
you know.
Bim. I think unfortunately for me, I think you're coming up against the power of God's forgiveness, and I think the answer is yes. Like there's that parable where some people had been working for someone for ages and ages, and then someone comes at the last minute and they did only a tiny bit of work, but they all got the same wages. And the people that had been working for ages and ages said, "Why have you done that? That's not fair. They've only come at the last minute. Why are they getting the same reward that we get?" And the guy said, "That's how I behave. I give what I give to who I give." And I think that's what God gives. Like, there is no consequence that something that someone has done to you, messed up your life, that you haven't done. And if God can forgive you and not give you a consequence of all the things that you have done, all the people you have hurt, why should we expect that there's anything that anyone can do to you that deserves a consequence if God has forgiven them? I think we just have to accept that Jesus Christ, his thing is for all people, regardless of what they've done to me. He's not gonna come and then give them a different, if he gives them to them, then you have something else coming.
Do you know what, Tolu? I completely agree with you, and I really do.
I don't get that.
No, it's just the way they lie. I think, but I do. It's really, really
It's
hard to sit
difficult.
with, and like I think, like keeping that in mind and thinking that actually God forgives me on a daily basis, like it
tough.
it humbles you, doesn't it? But like and I think this is the thing within like Christianity, we do try and like differentiate between, I don't know, sins or like hurt, because there are certain things that people will do to you that you really want them to have a consequence for, right? If someone kills your child, you want that person to have a consequence for it. Like versus someone steals like £100 for you. If someone steals £100 for you, you can maybe live with it and you can say that God will forgive them, God forgive them, I don't want anything to happen to them. But it is really difficult because there are levels to it.
Oh, 100%.
So, and actually someone said in the said to me specifically, there's a big cat from Tolu. There's absolutely no way that someone's getting away from jail.
I mean,
for murder.
I would like to watch that thing because I don't know how they both got away with murder.
Yeah.
I'll find the article. I'll find the article and I'll link
We've
it.
probably read it.
I'll find the thing and I'll link it.
Just in response to that, how do you explain the story in the Bible where David intentionally kills Bathsheba's husband so that he can sleep with her? They end up getting pregnant and having a son, and the consequence was the son dying.
So
Yeah.
again, I think that was just a natural thing that was happening. I'm not God, so I don't know why that child died or didn't die. David was praying, which means God could have turned that around. We all know that. Do you think that story says that God killed that child? I don't think that's what that story says. I think what was happening there was David wanted God to save the child and God didn't. And that thing happened. And there was a consequence of his natural action because that child wouldn't have lived. So I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I don't think that was God punishing David by killing his child. I don't know. I might be wrong.
And I think that's
might be
where we
wrong.
start that's where it starts becoming really dangerous for us to begin to see negative things happening in people's life, and us beginning to
Exactly.
say that's because you did X, Y, and Z, because it's not always the case. And I think that's actually a problem that we have within maybe Christianity, within the African community, where we always want to justify a negative thing that's happening in people's life to say that actually you have done X, Y, and Z. This is why this is happening. And I think that is a problem in itself.
Ooh, that's true. Because imagine that some people will be like, and if you even hear the word sometimes, it's really not even Christian. Like, actually, if we see that sometimes somebody will say, oh, she can't have children because she cussed that person's child. That's why she cannot have children. Good for her. That's how people speak in Christian in churches.
Guys, I
African
think like,
churches.
let's think about.
They'll
Let's
be
think
like,
about
that's her punishment.
what's the
Bruh.
mentality. Okay, now let's
That's a
bring it
big
back to the
punishment,
Eden
B.
ideal, right? What's the ideal that we want to be living with? I personally think that and again, this is an ideal. It's not where we are. It's not where I am. But the ideal place is, it should even go beyond that. I should go to a place of love for that person where now I so love the person that I don't want anything to happen to them anymore.
It's tough.
Like, it's a tough place to go
That's
to.
tough.
I'm just trying to say, like,
That's tough.
But that's how God looks at us, you know? And that's literally what he's done to us. Where you just gave the example of someone killing their son. His son died, you know, because of us. Because of all of us, you know? But he forgives. He loves us. He wants goodness for us. He doesn't want us to get the punishment that we deserve. And I think that is what he has called us to try and mimic in our own lives. It's a mad, crazy thing, but this walk is not a simple thing. Like, to be like Jesus means to die.
I want to be there, but I'm not there.
It's to die
from it.
It's to die to yourself.
Really, Bim, I guess the consequences, I guess, are sometimes bad, isn't it? Like, it might be that the consequences from whatever you've done is bad, but maybe it's not that God is doing that to the person. Like, I don't know, maybe, yeah.
Guys,
But
we've
I
got a
know that
couple of
that's
comments.
the way that we like to think about it, though, because that's the way that I've prayed.
It's not
God,
me doing it to the
help
person,
me.
though.
So,
So if I've left it to God, then
yeah, but
But
if we leave
what-
it to God, we need to, because sometimes I leave it to God, but I'm saying, God,
But
I've
you
left
still,
it
you
to
Yeah,
still
you.
want to
really
yeah,
leave
yeah.
it to God,
And
though.
this is
thing
the
that I
thing.
want you
where
to
I
do,
know
let
I
him
have to
pay.
step away.
No,
Let him
and
pay.
this is the thing. I think this conflict conversation needs to go beyond just what's gonna happen to the person. Let's leave it to God, because I don't think that's what Jesus. In all the things Jesus said, Jesus wasn't saying if someone comes and slaps you, walk away and leave me to deal with them. If someone comes and if your enemy is doing this to you, he didn't say walk away and leave me to deal with them. He says, no, you need to be proactive in doing something to reach out to the person. You need to be the one praying for the person.
Difficult.
You need to be the one loving the person. I don't think this Christian walk is a passive walk. We are trying to build a kingdom. We're trying to turn around madness that's happening in this world. We're trying to remove conflicts. We're trying to break down yokes of the enemy that's trying to destroy. Don't let me stop preaching.
You are preaching.
I was like, he's really going.
Hey,
No, but
Hey.
let me
Wait,
read a couple of comments.
have you ever actually tried that thing where you actively pray for someone who,
Yeah.
like,
I've
I
tried
have
it.
felt good afterwards.
It
like,
works.
yeah.
Guys,
I've tried
it
it.
works. If you do
Once.
these things,
Dad said never again.
Shiv in the comments says, great show, guys. I think sometimes in life people will do you dirty and there will be no repercussions for their actions. Unfortunately, it's harsh, but it's real. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We have another
in that
comment.
showing the person love, I guess, is the thing.
Break
that,
the cycle of vengeance. Let God's vengeance and justice rule. It's tough stuff that we're talking about, but I think we need to recognize what I think. Okay, let's talk about the different steps here. First step, you don't fight back. It's not your battle. It's not you to go and do all
I
of
guess
this.
maybe show the love of God in that situation, because maybe in that situation, actually, when people really sometimes people might call you dumb for still being loving, but actually when they really deep it and they're seeing, oh, she's doing this or he's doing this because of it's the God in you. You know what I mean? It's God, right? Like, Only because if I wasn't a Christian, you know what I mean? Those kind of situations, I guess that's kind of
That's
literally
it.
in you not
Yeah.
reacting the way that they expect you to react.
And then
shows
you
that,
now react.
"Ooh,
Look,
child,
but imagine
it's
Daddy,
God."
you now you like that example that the person gave. Pamela was talking about where the guy now went in the courtroom where
And
you were
hard.
meant to be giving punishment to the person that killed your son. You got up from your seat, walked to your child's killer, and gave them a hug
I forgave them.
and forgave
That is-
them.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's
That
deep, man.
speaks kingdom.
It does speak
Every
kingdom.
single person in that courtroom just witnessed the kingdom of God in that
100%.
moment.
Yeah.
You know, like this is what we're called to do. It's mad difficult, but when he did that, he was showing Jesus. He was showing Jesus on the cross. He wasn't showing Jesus as a guy with his sword winning the victory over his enemies. He was showing Jesus nailed pierced on the cross. And that is what we're called to do. It's a peak one. I'm not doing it, by the way.
Possible.
Just, you know,
What
to
you mean
be-
is you're not there yet?
I'm not there yet. I am not there yet. And I need to, but I
Is
want to
anyone
be.
there yet?
I
Are you
want
guys
to
I'm
there
be.
not
yet?
coming for you, fam.
No, but like the thing is that is the
Honestly.
way we actually bring peace
Yeah.
in our families, in our communities, in our nation. You know, like look at the war on terrorism. Like people keep on saying, I have friends who, you know, are from parts of the Middle East, and they keep saying like, you lot think that, oh, people came to bomb you, that's why you're coming to bomb us. Those people came to bomb you because you came to bomb them. It's a cycle back and forth until we stop the violence, stop the fighting, and try and find a way to build peace. It won't stop. It's a cycle. Anyways, this has got me pumped up.
Yeah, man.
I want to find an enemy so I can go forgive them and we can make peace. Who wronged me recently?
You know, as Cat Williams said, if you ain't got no haters, you could hate on me.
I remember. Oh, good convo, guys.
Yeah.
Good convo.
Yeah.
What did everybody learn? Let's go around real quick.
I want to start. This
Yeah,
time.
I was looking at you. Me too. I hate it too, but I'm lost.
Do you know what? What I've learned is to look at the situation before diving directly into it, to analyze where you are in the anger. Yeah, because if you could go too far, then too far is gone. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
For me, it's the same. I think with every conversation, the theme that God seems to be working with me is trust in Him and let go. Like, trust Him to help me to become the person I need to be, but then trust Him to deal with everything. Like, I just need to learn to trust. With our finances from last week, I need to learn to trust Him. With my conflicts, I need to just learn to trust Him. That's the theme for me. Still, trust God.
Yeah, no, for me, like this has been a really cut deep, man, because I was like,
Thank you, Ben, for giving us the pushback so that we can have the conversation. We need that. We needed that.
not smite them, but God smite them.
Yeah,
But
God
we
smite
know,
them.
we
You
know.
know what?
Smite them.
They know.
This conversation has been humbling for me. Just a transparent moment. And yeah, I guess it does come back to just letting go of your expectations of how the situation should pan out.
Yeah.
Letting go of you trying to enact vengeance, letting go of what you think that person should get, and also humbling yourself to remember that you sin each and every day. It may not be on the same magnitude as someone else's sin, but even that in itself is a throwaway point, because sin is sin. You sin every single day and God forgives you. And the Bible even says that forgive others so that God can forgive you. There's actually a condition. So now I'm just remembering all of this now, like it's a condition for God to forgive you. You must forgive other people. So yeah, really humbling conversation. So thank you guys. I'm on a journey.
Hey, we're all on a
We
journey.
all are,
We're
man.
all on a journey. Thank God.
Yeah. I think for me is literally what Bim has said. It's just remembering that well, God is a merciful God, and His mercy is not limited to me. It's for everyone.
It's true.
So who am I?
Deep.
Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Calm down.
That's a good one, you know.
It
'cause
is, you know, it's
like,
not
even-
just for me.
Even when you're trying to fight, people truly be saying, "Nah, God is on my side."
Yeah.
God will, but then the other person is your church friend, and they're also saying, "God is on my side."
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. In that situation, everybody just gotta let it go. But yeah, but I think that's what I've learned. I feel like, y'all know I had a moment there. The moment. But like for real, I feel like God spoke for you guys. And I'm trying to work through this forgiveness and what you just mentioned last right now about it's not only for me. It's literally if the person that I am against wants it, God's gonna give it to them too.
Yeah.
Like it's readily there for them too. You know what I mean? It's not like God's not gonna be like, oh, because of Tadio, you don't get it. Like it's just not that, Just like he won't say because of the other person, I can't get it, you know? So yeah, it's really deep. Just like what you said
It's
as well.
renewed
Bim.
every day.
It's
Do you know how
renewed,
deep that
like,
is?
it's deep.
Like, every single day.
Like you said, man, humbling convo for me too, man. It's a juicy one. I've definitely gone away. I'm going away having learned a lot.
Sit with that.
And I'm gonna have to sit with it for real. I'm gonna have to write it and look at it every day or something. man. But yeah,
I
great
love
combo,
you guys. Man.
Yeah, I love you too. Love you too.
think
Love
you're
you
all
all.
I
So
think
so
you're all
Jala, all right.
Y'all cool.
Well, homies, innit?
We're lads, innit?
Yeah.
You guys are cool.
You're all right. You're all right. You're
Y'all
all right.
alright. Y'all alright. You cool. But yeah, okay, cool.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
at
everyone.
home.
Thank you.
guys. We
Thank
hope
you
this
to everyone on the
conversation
comments as well.
Yes.
impacted you guys as much as it did us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shiv. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, Olu.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone on Instagram as well.
Please, if you are on YouTube right now,
Innit?
if you're watching,
The disrespect.
I didn't know. Sorry, ma. Thank you so much, ma. Sorry. I thought I just called Pam's mom by name. I apologize, ma. I'm sorry, ma. I didn't know, ma. Revenge does belong to God. Thank you, ma. Yes, ma. Respect and love.
please subscribe and click the notification bell. Please do that. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, and obviously, as I said, subscribe. Everything is The Eden Ideal. The Eden Ideal is not only a podcast, it is a movement. We are trying to build the kingdom. We're trying to spread the word, and we're trying to really just live by what Jesus has left with us,
That's it.
how he wants us to go. So in this peace, guys, we just hope peace.
Guys, also, please, can you let us know if there's any topics you would like us to cover on this podcast? Like put a comment, DM us on Instagram, let us know, because we want to talk about things that you guys want to talk about.
Yes.
I like that you're here with us. Some of you are here with us every week, so we want to make this relevant for you as well.
Okay.
Awesome, guys.
Awesome.
Have a good
Deuces,
one.
peace
Have a
and
good
love.
night.
You have to
Bye.
keep waving
Peace,
till it
peace,
turns it off. You have to keep waving, guys. Keep
Showing
waving.
love, showing love.
Outro song.
Go on.
Outro.
The Eden.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah. Don't look at me. Keep going. Yeah.
The Eden.
Dwayne, press the button, bro. Set up.